Hello, everyone. Welcome to the English Today journey. I'm really happy to see you here. My name is Maria, and in this podcast, my goal is to help you improve your English skills, especially listening and speaking, while we talk about ideas that really matter in life. If you like learning English and hearing about life lessons, don't forget to subscribe. Today, we're going to talk about something very interesting and very important. Failure. Yes, failure. It is something that everyone experiences. No one can escape it. You, me, your friends, your teachers, even people who are very successful, have all failed at some point in their lives. So, if you have ever failed before, do not worry. You are not alone. It happens to everyone. Think about some examples of failure. Maybe you studied hard for a test, but you didn't pass. Maybe you wanted a job, but the company did not hire you. Maybe you tried to start a small business, but it did not succeed, and you had to close it. All of these are forms of failure. When failure happens, it often makes us feel sad, frustrated, or angry. We might ask ourselves, why did I fail? What did I do wrong? These feelings are normal. Everyone feels this way sometimes. But the most important thing is not just that we fail, it is how we understand failure and what we do after it happens. Failure is not just a bad thing. It can actually be very useful if we learn from it. It can teach us lessons, help us grow, and guide us to do better next time. In fact, many people who are very successful today failed many times in the past. Famous business leaders, athletes, singers, and artists all faced failures before they reached success. The difference is that they did not stop. They did not give up. Instead, they looked at what went wrong, learned from it, and tried again. That is how they improved and finally succeeded. Failure helps us in another way too. It teaches us patience, persistence, and strength. When we fail, we learn to face challenges without fear. We learn that mistakes are not the end of the world. They are steps toward improvement. The key is to look carefully at why we failed. Did we not prepare enough? Did we not try the right approach? Did we give up too soon? By understanding the reason, we can change our plan, try new strategies, and do better next time. Remember, failure is not a sign that you are weak or not capable. It is a part of life. Everyone fails sometimes. What matters most is how we respond. We can feel sad for a while, but then we need to take lessons from our mistakes and move forward. Every failure gives us experience, knowledge, and a chance to grow. Success is not about never failing. It is about learning, improving, and never giving up. So, if you have failed before, don't be afraid. You are learning. You are growing.
Keep trying. Keep practicing.
Keep believing in yourself. One day, your persistence and learning from failure will help you succeed. And remember, the journey is just as important as the success itself. Every step you take, even a failed one, is helping you become better and stronger. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Embrace it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Hello again, everyone. Let's continue talking about failure. Failure can feel hard and unpleasant, but it is actually an important part of life. It can help us grow stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the future. Today, in this podcast, we are going to look at failure closely, step by step. First, we will ask the basic question: what does failure really mean? Then we will talk about the most common reasons why people fail in life. Some examples are not having clear goals, not working hard enough, being afraid to try, or giving up too early. After that, we will explore ways to avoid failure and how to move closer to success. Finally, I will share some thoughts to help you stay positive, motivated, and strong, even when life feels difficult. By the end of this episode, I hope you will see failure in a completely new way. Instead of being afraid of it, you will feel ready to face it, learn from it, and grow. And while we talk about all this, you are also practicing your English listening and understanding. So, are you ready?
Great.
Let's begin. What is failure? Let's start with the simplest question. What is failure? Many people think failure is something bad, something to avoid. They feel scared of it and try to run away from it. But the truth is, failure is not the end of the world. Failure is simply a part of life. It happens when we try something and do not get the result we hoped for. That's all. Here's some simple examples. If you study very hard for an exam but do not pass it, that is failure. If you apply for a job but the company does not hire you, that is also failure. If you start a small business but it does not earn money and you have to close it, that is another example of failure. These situations are very common. Almost everyone experiences them at some point in life. Here's something important to remember. Failure does not mean you are a failure. Failing does not make you a bad person or show that you cannot succeed. It only means that one plan, one idea, or one attempt did not work. You can always try again, learn something new, and improve. Failure is just one step along the path, not the end of the journey. Failure can look different for everyone. For one person, failing might mean losing a game, while for another it could mean not getting a promotion at work. For some, it may feel small, like forgetting something important, and for others, it may feel big, like losing a chance they worked for a long time. No matter how it looks, the feeling is normal, and it is something we can learn from. So remember, failure is not something to fear. It is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Each failure gives us an opportunity to learn, grow, and prepare for the next attempt. Every time we fail and then try again, we become stronger, smarter, and more confident. Failure is not the end. It is the beginning of learning and improvement. Failure is something everyone experiences, no matter who they are or what they do. It is a part of life, and it can happen in many different ways. For a student, failure might be getting low marks on an exam or even failing a test completely. For someone who works at a job, failure could mean not getting the promotion they hoped for or, in worse cases, losing their job. When a person tries something new, like opening a shop, starting a project, or launching a business, failure could mean that the idea did not work or that people did not support it as expected. Failure does not only happen in school or at work. It can also happen in relationships. Sometimes friendships end, or conflicts arise with someone we care deeply about. When this happens, it can feel like failure too. Failure does not only mean big things like exams, businesses, or jobs. It can happen in small parts of life as well. That is why it is important to understand that failing is normal. Everyone experiences it. There is no person in the world who has never failed. Even people we call successful have faced failures many times. Often, when we fail, we feel like we are the only ones. We look at others and think they are doing well, while we are struggling. We ask ourselves, why am I failing while others succeed? The truth is that everyone fails, but some people do not show it. Some fail quietly, fix their mistakes, and move on. This does not mean they never failed. It just means they kept going despite their setbacks. Some of the most successful people in history faced many failures before they became successful. Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb, failed hundreds of times before creating one that worked. Imagine if he had given up after the first 50 or 100 attempts. But he continued trying, learning from each mistake, until he finally succeeded. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was once not selected for his school basketball team. This felt like a huge failure at the time, but instead of quitting, he worked harder, practiced more, and eventually became one of the best players in the world. These stories show that failure is not the end. It is just a step along the path to success. Understanding failure is important because it helps us deal with life's challenges in a better way. When we fail, we learn lessons that help us grow. We discover what works and what does not, and we become stronger and more resilient. Failure teaches us patience, determination, and problem-solving skills. It helps us understand ourselves better and realize that setbacks are not permanent. Instead of fearing failure, we should accept it as a normal part of life. Everyone experiences it, and it does not make us less capable or less worthy. The key is not to avoid failure, but to learn from it. When we fail, we can ask ourselves, what went wrong? How can I improve? By looking at failure as an opportunity rather than a defeat, we can turn mistakes into lessons and move forward. Life is full of ups and downs, successes and failures. The people who achieve great things are not those who never fail, but those who do not let failure stop them. They try again, learn from their mistakes, and keep moving forward. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Every mistake, every setback, and every failure brings us closer to reaching our goals. Failure is an important part of life. It is not the end of the road. Instead, failure is just a step on the path to success. Many people think of failure as something bad, but it is not always bad. Yes, failing can hurt. It can make us feel sad, disappointed, or even angry. But at the same time, failure can teach us lessons that success never can. It is like a teacher, showing us what does not work and what we need to change. When we fail, we learn from our mistakes. This knowledge helps us do better the next time. Failure also makes us stronger. Think about it. When you fall down but get back up again, you gain confidence. You start to believe that even when things are difficult, you can continue moving forward. Each time you face failure and rise again, you become braver, tougher, and more ready for future challenges. Instead of being our enemy, failure is more like a guide that helps us grow and improve. Failure is something every human experiences. It does not matter where you come from, what your job is, or what dreams you have. You will face failure at some point in your life. And that is perfectly okay. The important question is not, will I fail? Because everyone fails sometimes. The real question is, how will I respond to failure? Will you give up, or will you try again? Will you feel sorry for yourself, or will you learn from your mistakes, improve, and keep moving forward? The choices you make after failing are what truly shape your life. Remember this. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. It is one step on the journey. The next time you fail, don't panic. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that failure happens to everyone. Then ask yourself, what can I do better next time? If you think this way, each failure will bring you closer to success. Failure teaches us lessons about life, about ourselves, and about how to achieve our goals. It shows us what works and what does not. It strengthens our character and builds courage. It helps us grow, step by step, toward our dreams. Every person who has achieved something great has faced failure. They did not let failure stop them. Instead, they learned from it and kept going. So the next time you face failure, see it as a teacher, a guide, and a chance to become stronger. Use it to learn, improve, and prepare for what comes next. Life will have challenges, setbacks, and mistakes, but with each failure, you have an opportunity to rise, grow, and move closer to success. Treat failure as a stepping stone, not a wall. Accept it, learn from it, and keep going. This mindset will help you turn every failure into a step forward, making your journey toward success steady and sure. Failure happens to everyone, but it is not always caused by bad luck. Many times, failure happens because of things we can control. If we understand why people fail, we can avoid the mistakes and make better choices. Let's look at some of the most common reasons why people fail and how to prevent them. The first reason is not having clear goals. Many people fail because they do not know exactly what they want. A clear goal means knowing what you want to achieve and planning how to get there. Without a clear goal, it is like walking in the dark without a map. You don't know where you are going. For example, if someone says, "I want to be successful," that is not enough. Success can mean different things for different people. Do they want to start a business? Become a great teacher? Write a book? If they do not decide, they will feel lost, confused, and unsure of what steps to take. Clear, specific goals are important because they guide your actions and give you a sense of direction. The second reason is not working hard enough. Success rarely comes without effort. It is not enough to wish for something or hope it will happen. You must work for it, practice, and give your best energy every day. For example, imagine a student who wants to pass an exam. If they only study for 1 hour and spend the rest of the time playing games or watching TV, they will likely fail.
Why?
Because success requires consistent effort, not occasional effort. People who work hard, even when it is difficult, are the ones who achieve their goals. The third reason is fear of trying. Some people fail simply because they are afraid to start. They worry so much about what could go wrong that they do not take any action. This fear of failure can stop people from even trying. For instance, a person may want to start a small business, but then they think, what if I lose money? Or what if people do not like my idea? Because of these worries, they may never begin. But the truth is, you cannot succeed without trying. Taking the first step, even with fear, is necessary to reach your goals. Another reason people fail is giving up too quickly. Sometimes we face challenges or obstacles and think it is too hard to continue. But success requires patience and persistence. Every person who achieves great things has faced difficulties along the way. They failed, they made mistakes, but they did not quit. Each time you continue despite challenges, you get closer to your goals. Finally, failure can happen when we ignore learning from our mistakes. Every failure contains a lesson. If we do not pay attention, we may repeat the same errors again and again. For example, if a student fails a test and does not understand what went wrong, they may fail again. But if they learn from the failure, study differently, ask for help, and practice more, they can improve and succeed. By understanding these reasons, we see that failure is often a result of choices, not luck. We can prevent failure by setting clear goals, working hard, facing our fears, staying persistent, and learning from our mistakes. Failure is not something to fear. It is a guide, a teacher, and a stepping stone toward success. Every time we fail and try again, we become stronger, wiser, and better prepared for the future. Some people fail simply because they are afraid to try. They worry, what if I lose my money? Or what if people do not like my idea? Because of this fear, they never take the first step. But here is the truth. By not trying, they're already failing. At least if you try, you have a chance to succeed. Every success story begins with the courage to take the first step. Another reason people fail is negative thinking. When people think negatively, they stop believing in themselves. They focus only on what could go wrong, instead of what could go right. For example, someone might think, I'm not smart enough, or I cannot do this. These thoughts stop them before they even begin. Negative thinking blocks us from reaching our potential. To succeed, we need to train our minds to think positively, focus on possibilities, and believe in our own abilities. Giving up too soon is also a common reason for failure. Success takes time and does not happen in one day or 1 week. Many people want quick results, and when they do not see them, they quit. For example, someone may start going to the gym because they want to get fit. After 2 weeks, they do not see big changes, so they stop. But if they had continued for a few months, they would have seen real results. Patience is essential. Success comes slowly, step by step. Even when progress feels small or difficult, we must keep going. Finally, many people fail because they do not learn from their mistakes. Making mistakes is normal. Everyone makes them. What matters is what we do afterward. Some people repeat the same mistakes over and over. For example, they may spend too much money every month and have no savings at the end. Instead of changing their habits, they continue the same pattern and the problem persists. Learning from mistakes means stopping, reflecting, and making changes to avoid repeating them. This is how we grow stronger and move closer to our goals. By understanding these common reasons for failure, we can take control of our lives. We can set clear goals, work hard, face our fears, think positively, stay patient, and learn from our mistakes. Failure is not something to fear. It is a teacher that guides us, showing us what does not work and helping us improve. Every failure is an opportunity to grow, to become stronger, and to get closer to success. Success is not a matter of luck or talent alone. It is the result of courage, effort, and learning. People who achieve great things do not avoid failure. They face it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. When we fail and rise again, we develop strength, wisdom, and confidence. Every step, even the ones that seem like setbacks, brings us closer to our dreams. So remember, failure is normal, failure is important, and failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. By understanding why failure happens and how to respond, we can turn obstacles into opportunities, mistakes into lessons, and setbacks into stepping stones. Each time we fail and try again, we are growing, improving, and moving closer to the life we want. Mistakes are a natural part of life, but they only help us if we learn from them. When something goes wrong, we should stop, think about what happened, and try a different approach next time. If we ignore our mistakes, they will keep repeating. But if we learn from them, they become tools that guide us toward success. Let's quickly recap the main reasons why people fail. They don't have clear goals. They don't work hard enough. They're afraid to try. They think negatively. They give up too soon. They don't learn from their mistakes. Avoiding these habits can already improve our chances of success. But there are still a few more important reasons for failure that we should remember. One of them is bad habits. Habits are the small things we do every day, and over time, they shape our future. Good habits help us succeed, but bad habits slowly push us toward failure. Think about habits like laziness, wasting time, or not planning well. For example, imagine someone who spends hours scrolling on social media or watching videos every day. They say, "I want to follow my dreams," but they never actually take action. Slowly, time passes, and they find themselves in the same place as before. Or imagine someone who always says, "I will do it tomorrow," but when tomorrow comes, they say the same thing again. Days, weeks, and months go by, and they never start. These small habits may seem harmless at first, but over time, they become obstacles to success. To achieve our goals, we must develop good habits like planning our time, staying active, focusing on tasks, and taking small steps every day. Another reason people fail is blaming others. When something goes wrong, some people look outside themselves and say it is someone else's fault. For example, a student may fail a test and say, "The teacher didn't teach well," instead of asking, "What can I do to improve?" Blaming others prevents us from taking responsibility for our lives. If we focus on what we can control instead of blaming others, we can make real changes and learn from our experiences. Failure is often the result of habits and choices, not luck. By understanding these reasons, we can take control of our life and improve our chances of success. Avoiding fear, negative thinking, laziness, impatience, blaming others, and not learning from mistakes will help us grow stronger and closer to our goals. Each step we take, no matter how small, moves us forward. Remember, failure is normal and happens to everyone. It is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Every failure is an opportunity to learn, grow, and improve. By changing our habits, taking responsibility, working hard, staying positive, and learning from mistakes, we can turn failure into a powerful teacher. Over time, these lessons will lead us to achieve our dreams. Success is not about avoiding failure. It is about learning, improving, and continuing to move forward. Each mistake, setback, or delay is a chance to grow. By understanding why people fail and making better choices, we can shape our own future and take steady steps toward the life we want. Sometimes, when things go wrong, people like to blame others. For example, a student may fail a test and say, "The teacher didn't teach well." But maybe the real reason is that they did not study enough. A worker might miss a deadline and say, "My boss gave me too much work." But perhaps they wasted time earlier and did not manage it well. When we constantly blame others, we stop looking at what we can improve in ourselves. If we do not see our mistakes, we cannot grow. But when we take responsibility for our actions, we give ourselves the chance to do better next time. The good news is that all these reasons for failure can be changed. We can set clear goals. We can work harder. We can think positively. We can be patient. We can learn from our mistakes. We can build good habits. And we can take responsibility for our actions. By doing these things step by step, we move closer and closer to success. Failure is not the end. It is a lesson. It is something that helps us grow and become better. So, how can we deal with failure in a smart and healthy way? Failure can feel painful. It can make us sad, angry, or disappointed. Sometimes, we may even feel like giving up. But what really matters is not the failure itself. It is how we respond to it. If we learn to handle failure positively, it can actually become a tool that helps us grow and improve. The first step is to accept failure calmly. When we fail, it is easy to get upset. Some people get angry. Others feel ashamed. Some blame themselves, and some blame others. But staying upset for too long does not help. Instead, we can take a deep breath and remain calm. We can remind ourselves that failure is normal. Everyone fails sometimes. Even the most successful people in the world failed many times before achieving their goals. And that is perfectly okay. The second step is to understand what went wrong. Failure is not meaningless. It is a lesson that teaches us what we can improve. We can ask ourselves questions like, what could I do differently next time? Or which habits or actions led to this result? By analyzing our mistakes calmly, we can find the right solutions and prepare to do better in the future. The third step is to take action to improve. Learning from failure is not enough if we do not act. We need to apply what we learned, try again, and keep moving forward. Even small steps matter. Each time we try again, we gain experience, confidence, and skill. The process of failing, learning, and trying again slowly builds the path to success. Finally, it is important to stay positive and patient. Success rarely comes immediately. It requires time, effort, and persistence. Even when failure feels discouraging, we should remember that each setback is temporary and each lesson brings us closer to our goals. A positive mindset helps us see opportunities in challenges and gives us the strength to continue. In short, failure is not something to fear or avoid. It is a guide, a teacher, and a stepping stone toward success. By accepting failure, learning from it, taking action, and staying positive, we can turn setbacks into growth. Every failure is a chance to improve, become stronger, and move closer to the life we want. Dealing with failure is not easy, but it is an important skill to learn. The way we respond to failure determines how much we grow and how close we get to success. There are several steps we can follow to handle failure in a smart and positive way. Step 1. Accept failure calmly. The first thing we should do when we fail is to accept it. It is normal to feel upset, sad, or frustrated, but staying angry or blaming yourself or others for too long does not help. The sooner we accept that failure has happened, the sooner we can think clearly about what to do next. When our mind is calm, we can see the situation more clearly and make better decisions. Step 2. Learn from mistakes. Every failure has a lesson hidden inside it. After accepting failure, we should ask ourselves questions like, what went wrong? Or, what can I do differently next time? Maybe we did not plan carefully. Maybe we did not work hard enough. Or maybe we need more practice or advice. By understanding the reason behind the failure, we can learn from it and improve. Instead of feeling bad, we can see failure as a chance to grow and get stronger. Step 3. Keep trying and be patient. Success does not happen in one day. It takes time, effort, and many small steps. Many people give up after failing just once, but stopping means they will never know what they could have achieved. After failure, it is important to make a new plan, try again, and give yourself time. Patience is key. There's a saying, slow and steady wins the race. Even if you move forward slowly, as long as you keep going, you are on the right path. Step 4. Stay positive and believe in yourself. Failure can make us doubt ourselves. We might think, I am not good enough, or I will never succeed. These thoughts only make life harder. Instead, focus on your strengths and remember what you have already achieved. Remind yourself that you can always improve and do better next time. Positive thinking gives energy, hope, and courage to keep moving forward. When we believe in ourselves, we are more likely to find solutions and continue working toward our goals. Step 5. Ask for help when you need it. Sometimes we fail because we try to do everything alone. Asking for help does not mean we are weak. It means we are smart and willing to learn. Teachers, friends, mentors, or family can give advice, support, and guidance that help us overcome challenges. By asking for help, we can understand what we are missing and improve faster. Dealing with failure is a process. Accept it, learn from it, stay patient, think positively, and seek support when needed. Each time we fail and take these steps, we become stronger, wiser, and better prepared for future challenges. Failure is not the end of the road. It is a part of the journey to success. When we follow these steps, failure becomes a guide rather than a barrier. It teaches us lessons, shows us what we need to improve, and pushes us to grow. With patience, effort, and the right attitude, every failure moves us closer to our goals. Success is not about avoiding failure. It is about learning, improving, and never giving up. Each step we take, even after a setback, brings us closer to the life we want. Sometimes, when we fail, we feel like we must handle everything on our own. But the truth is, we don't have to. It is okay to ask for help. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength, wisdom, and courage. Other people can give advice, support, or even just listen. Sometimes, talking about a problem can make it feel smaller and easier to handle. Friends, family members, teachers, or coaches can help us see things we might have missed. They can suggest new ways forward, show us different solutions, or just encourage us to keep going. When we ask for help, we are not failing again. We are learning how to succeed. Support from others makes us stronger, not weaker. So, how can we deal with failure in a healthy way? First, accept failure calmly. It is normal to feel sad or frustrated, but staying upset too long does not help. Calmly accepting the situation lets our minds think clearly and plan the next step. Second, learn from failure. Every failure has a lesson. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What can I do differently next time? Understanding your mistakes helps you improve. Third, keep trying and be patient. Success does not happen in a single day. It takes time, effort, and many small steps. Even slow progress counts, as long as you keep moving forward. Fourth, stay positive and believe in yourself. Focus on your strengths and past achievements. Positive thinking gives energy, hope, and courage to continue. Fifth, ask for help when you need it. Support from others can guide you, give new ideas, and make challenges easier to face. When we follow these steps, failure becomes more than just a setback. It becomes a guide, showing us what we can improve and helping us grow. By accepting failure, learning from it, staying patient, thinking positively, and seeking help, we do not just recover from failure. We become stronger, wiser, and better prepared for the future. Now, let's look at another important question. How can we avoid failure in the first place? The good news is that failure does not have to happen over and over. By paying attention to our past mistakes, we can learn from them and make better choices. Avoiding failure means being careful, planning ahead, and taking action to improve ourselves. For example, we can set clear goals, work consistently, manage our time wisely, and build good habits. We can also face challenges bravely, keep a positive mindset, and ask for advice when needed. Avoiding failure does not mean we will never face setbacks. Mistakes and challenges are part of life, and everyone experiences them. But when we act thoughtfully, learn from the past, and make better choices, we reduce unnecessary failures and move more steadily toward our goals. The key is to combine learning from failure with proactive action. In short, failure is not something to fear, and success is not just about luck. By accepting failure, learning from it, being patient, thinking positively, seeking help, and making careful choices, we can turn challenges into opportunities. Each mistake, each setback, is a step on the journey to success. When we face failure wisely, we grow stronger, gain experience, and move closer to the life we want. Success does not happen by accident. There are many simple but powerful steps we can take to move closer to our goals. Let's go through these steps one by one so we can avoid failure and grow stronger. Step 1. Set clear goals. The very first step is to know exactly what you want. When we have a clear goal, it becomes much easier to plan and work for it. Imagine you want to travel to a new city. If you don't know which city you're going to, how will you choose the right road? You will feel lost and confused. But if you know your destination, you can follow the map and reach it safely. Life is the same. Without clear goals, we do not know which steps to take, and we may waste time and energy. But with a clear goal, we have direction. For example, instead of saying, "I want to be successful," which is too general, we can say, "I want to become a good English speaker," or "I want to start my own shop," or "I want to become a teacher." Clear goals give us focus, help us make better plans, and prevent confusion. Step 2. Work hard and stay focused. Success requires effort. Many people want to succeed, but not everyone is ready to put in the work. To avoid failure, we must spend time and energy on our goals every day. It is also important to avoid small distractions that waste time. For instance, if you want to improve your English, you need to practice speaking, reading, and listening regularly. But if most of your time goes to scrolling on social media or playing games, you will see very little improvement. Hard work and focus are like strong tools. They help us stay on the right path and make progress. Step 3. Accept failure as part of learning. Even when we work hard, sometimes things do not go as planned. That is okay. Nobody is perfect, and everyone makes mistakes. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, we may fail. Learning to accept failure is very important. Think of failure like a teacher. Each failure shows us what went wrong and what we can do better next time. Instead of feeling sad or upset, we can ask ourselves questions like, what can I change? What can I improve? By accepting failure calmly and seeing it as a lesson, we turn mistakes into opportunities to grow. Step 4. Keep trying and be patient. Success does not happen instantly. It takes time, many small steps, and continuous effort. Many people give up after failing once, but giving up guarantees that you will not succeed. Instead, make a new plan, try again, and be patient with yourself. Even slow progress counts, as long as you keep moving forward. Patience and persistence are keys to long-term success. Step 5. Stay positive and believe in yourself. Failure can make us doubt ourselves, but negative thoughts only make things harder. Focus on your strengths and remember past achievements. Positive thinking gives energy, courage, and hope. When we believe in ourselves, we are more likely to find solutions, take action, and continue working toward our goals. Step 6. Ask for help when needed. Sometimes we fail because we try to do everything alone. Asking for help is not a weakness. It is a sign of strength. Friends, family, teachers, or mentors can offer advice, support, or new ideas. Even just talking to someone about a problem can make it feel smaller and easier to handle. Seeking help gives us new perspectives and makes it easier to move forward. By following these steps, setting clear goals, working hard, accepting failure, staying patient, thinking positively, and asking for help, we can turn challenges into opportunities. Each mistake, each setback, becomes a chance to learn, grow, and move closer to success. Failure can feel scary, but it does not have to stop us. In fact, if we stop fearing failure and see it as a lesson, it can make us stronger. Every time we fail, we learn what went wrong and what we can do better next time. By treating failure as a teacher instead of an enemy, we turn mistakes into something useful that helps us grow. Step 4. Be patient. Patience is one of the most important keys to avoiding failure. Many people give up too soon because they want quick results. But real success takes time, effort, and consistency. Good things like strong skills, good habits, or a successful business grow slowly. Think about planting a seed. You water it, give it sunlight, and wait. It does not become a tree in one day. Only after weeks, months, or even years does it grow into a strong tree. Life is the same. Success grows gradually. If we keep working steadily and patiently, even small progress adds up. Patience helps us stay strong when results seem slow. Step 5. Believe in yourself. Believing in yourself is one of the most powerful steps to avoid failure. Many people fail not because they lack ability, but because they do not believe in themselves. They think, "I cannot do this," or "I am not good enough." They compare themselves to others and assume others are smarter or stronger. When we think like this, we lose motivation before even trying. But the truth is, if you do not believe in yourself, no one else can believe in you for you. Self-belief gives you courage, focus, and energy to keep moving forward, even when the path is difficult. Confidence acts like fuel for success. It keeps you going when challenges appear. By practicing these steps, failure will not control your life. Instead, you will move closer to your goals, even when challenges arise. To recap the steps to avoid failure. Set clear goals. Know exactly what you want to achieve. Clear goals give direction, focus, and a plan for success. Work hard and stay focused. Put effort into your goals every day. Avoid distractions that waste your time. Consistent work is the key to progress. Accept failure as part of learning. Mistakes happen. Learn from them instead of feeling defeated. Each failure is an opportunity to improve. Be patient.
Good things take time.
Keep working steadily and trust the process. Even small steps forward matter. Believe in yourself. Have confidence in your abilities. When you trust yourself, you are more likely to try, stay motivated, and keep moving forward. Remember, success is not about never failing. It is about handling failure the right way and using it to grow. Every challenge we face, every mistake we make, teaches us something valuable. When we set goals, work hard, learn from mistakes, stay patient, and believe in ourselves, failure becomes less frightening. Instead of holding us back, it pushes us toward growth, improvement, and success. Believe in yourself. Trust your abilities. Keep moving forward. Step by step, you will grow stronger, wiser, and closer to the life you want. Failure is not the end. It is part of the journey to becoming your best self. Believing in yourself is one of the most powerful steps to avoid failure. When you truly believe that you can achieve something, you try harder. You don't give up easily, and you keep looking for solutions when problems arise. Belief gives you energy and strength to keep moving forward, even when life is difficult. Think of belief like fuel in a car. Without fuel, the car cannot move. In the same way, without belief in yourself, you cannot move toward your dreams. Always remind yourself, "Yes, I can do this. I will keep trying. I will learn from mistakes and try again." Another key step to avoid failure is learning from mistakes and trying again. Everyone makes mistakes, that is normal. The important part is what you do after a mistake. Do you give up, or do you learn and try again? For example, if you fail an exam, don't just think, I am not smart enough. Instead, stop and ask yourself questions like, did I study enough? Did I understand the questions? Did I need more practice? By asking these questions, you can find the reason behind your failure. Maybe you didn't manage your time well, or maybe you need a new method to study. Once you know the reason, you can make a better plan for next time. When you try again, you do it with more knowledge, preparation, and confidence. This is how mistakes turn into lessons and opportunities for growth. Staying positive is also very important. When we think negatively, we only see problems and feel discouraged. But positive thinking helps us see solutions, opportunities, and ways to improve. A positive mind makes us stronger, more hopeful, and more creative. For example, a negative person might say, I failed once, so I will always fail. But a positive person says, I failed this time, but I can do better next time. See the difference? The words we tell ourselves matter. Positive thinking gives us energy to keep moving forward. It also removes the fear of making mistakes because we understand that mistakes are part of learning. By believing in ourselves, learning from mistakes, and staying positive, we create a strong foundation for success. These steps help us face challenges bravely instead of avoiding them. Each time we fail, we gain more experience, learn something new, and become more prepared for the future. Life is full of ups and downs, but with self-belief, a willingness to learn, and a positive attitude, we can turn setbacks into opportunities. So remember these simple truths. Mistakes are normal, failure is not the end, and belief in yourself is the fuel that drives you forward. When you combine this with learning, trying again, and staying positive, failure stops being something to fear. Instead, it becomes a teacher that helps you grow stronger, wiser, and closer to your goals. Each mistake, each failure, is a step toward becoming your best self. Failure is not something to fear. Instead, it is part of learning and growing. One of the best ways to avoid failure is to build good habits. Success rarely comes from one big action. It comes from many small actions we repeat every day. These small actions become habits, and good habits slowly guide us toward success. For example, imagine someone who studies English for just 30 minutes every day. At first, 30 minutes may not seem like much, but after 1 month, 2 months, or 6 months, the improvement is clear. Small, consistent steps add up over time. This is the power of good habits. Good habits can include things like planning your day, managing your time well, being patient, thinking positively, and taking care of your health. On the other hand, bad habits like laziness, wasting time, or always saying, I will do it tomorrow, slowly push us toward failure. That is why it is important to choose your habits wisely. The habits you build today shape your future. Another key step to avoid failure is taking responsibility for your actions. When things go wrong, many people quickly blame others. They say, it was the teacher's fault, or the situation was unfair. Blaming others does not help us improve. Instead, we should ask ourselves, what could I have done differently? How can I do better next time? Taking responsibility gives you control over your life. It stops you from waiting for others to change and helps you focus on what you can improve in yourself. Real growth comes when we take responsibility for our actions. Avoiding failure does not mean being perfect. Nobody is perfect, and mistakes are normal. Avoiding failure is about trying, learning, and growing. When we set clear goals, work hard, stay positive, learn from mistakes, build good habits, and take responsibility, we create a strong foundation for success. Each step we take makes us stronger, wiser, and closer to achieving our dreams. Remember, failure is not the end. It is simply a step on the road to success. Every mistake teaches us something, every small habit builds progress, and every moment of responsibility helps us grow. By following these steps, We can face challenges with courage, learn from our experiences, and keep moving forward. In the end, success is not about avoiding failure completely. It is about how we respond to it, what we learn, and how we use it to improve ourselves. Failure is a natural part of life, but it does not have to stop you. It can guide you, teach you, and push you toward becoming the best version of yourself. Step by step, habit by habit, choice by choice, you can move forward, overcome obstacles, and achieve your dreams. The most important thing in life is never giving up. Everyone experiences failure, but failure is not just something bad that happens to us. It is also a powerful teacher. When we fail, we get the chance to stop and think about what went wrong. We can ask ourselves questions like, why did this happen? What could I have done differently? How can I do better next time? These questions are very important because they help us learn, grow, and improve. Success feels great, but failure helps us become wiser, stronger, and smarter. Without failure, we might never pause to reflect, make changes, or develop the skills we need to succeed. One of the biggest lessons failure teaches us is that success is not easy. Success requires effort, patience, focus, and time. Sometimes, failure is simply telling us, you are not ready yet. Prepare more. Try again later. And this is not a punishment, it is actually a gift. Failure guides us, shows us where we need to improve, and helps us grow into stronger, better versions of ourselves. Failure is normal and happens to everyone. There is no person in the world who has never failed. We fail in school, at work, in business, and in relationships. Sometimes, we even fail in small everyday things, like forgetting something important or making a silly mistake. This is just a natural part of life. No one is perfect, and mistakes are normal. But here is the good news. Failure is not the end of the road. It is not the opposite of success. In fact, it is part of the journey toward success. Every failure contains a lesson, and every mistake is an opportunity to grow, learn, and try again. So, the next time you fail, do not feel hopeless. Do not think your journey is over. Instead, take a moment to pause and breathe. Remind yourself, this is not the end. This is just one step. I can learn from this and try again. Every successful person has failed many times before reaching their goals. They failed in school, in sports, in business, and in life. The difference is that they kept going, learned from their mistakes, and never gave up. Failure also teaches humility and patience. It shows us that we cannot achieve everything immediately, that hard work is necessary, and that progress comes step by step. Each time we fail and rise again, we grow stronger, braver, and more prepared for the future. Failure encourages self-reflection, pushes us to find solutions, and motivates us to take responsibility for our actions. It is a guide, showing us what works, what doesn't, and how we can improve. Remember, failure is not a punishment or a sign of weakness. It is a normal part of life, a natural step in the journey toward success. When we approach failure with a positive mindset, we turn it into a tool for growth. We learn patience, persistence, and resilience. Most importantly, we learn to never give up. So, whenever you face failure, take it as a lesson, not a defeat. Keep moving forward, step by step, and trust that every failure brings you closer to your goals and dreams. Every successful person you admire today, whether an inventor, a writer, an athlete, or a business leader, has failed many times. The difference between them and others is that they did not stop. They used failure as a teacher. They learned from their mistakes, stood up again, and kept moving forward. You can do the same. Whenever life feels heavy or challenges seem too big, remind yourself. Failure makes you stronger. It makes you wiser. It prepares you for greater success. Failure is not something to be afraid of. Instead, welcome it. See it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Each failure is a chance to improve and become the best version of yourself. The key is to keep going, keep believing in yourself, and never give up. Sometimes success is closer than you think, and one more attempt, one more lesson learned, or one more step forward can bring you much closer to your dreams. Remember, every small effort matters, and every setback is just a step along the way. Life is a journey full of ups and downs, and everyone faces difficulties at some point. We all make mistakes. We all experience failure. But it is how we respond to these moments that shapes who we become. Do we give up, or do we learn, adapt, and try again? The choice is always ours. By learning from failure, taking small steps forward, and staying determined, we can overcome challenges and reach our goals. Also, share what you learn with others. Talking about your experiences or practicing what you've learned with a friend or family member can make your lesson stronger. Sharing your thoughts helps you remember what you learned, improves your skills, and gives you confidence. Life is better when we grow together and support each other. Be gentle with yourself. Treat your mind kindly and try to enjoy each moment as it comes. Life is not only about reaching the finish line, it is about learning, growing, and appreciating the journey. Success is built step by step, failure by failure, and effort by effort. If you embrace failure as a teacher, stay positive, and keep trying, nothing can stop you from achieving your dreams. So, whenever you feel discouraged, remember this. Every person who has ever succeeded has faced setbacks, doubts, and mistakes. They succeeded because they did not let failure define them. They learned, they grew, and they kept moving forward. You can do the same. Let failure guide you. Let it teach you, and let it push you to become stronger, wiser, and more determined. Keep believing in yourself, take each day as it comes, and never give up. Your next success could be just around the corner. Stay focused, stay positive, and remember that every failure is just a step towards something greater. You are capable, you are strong, and your journey is worth every effort.